Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fallout 4 Mod Bundle. Today we are checking out 5 more awesome workshop mods. Now, I know we did a top 10 settlement slash workshop mods video in the past, and you guys seem to really like it, and from the time that we made that video to now, our channel's in a completely different place, and honestly, back then, my quality wasn't up to snuff compared to what it is now, in my personal opinion. And so I'd like to do that video a little bit of justice and shed some light on some even more really cool mods that either I didn't know about then or just didn't cover in that video. So that video is still a great resource for 10 awesome mods. These are just going to be 5 more different mods. I'm not going to cover any of the old ones again, but rather I'm just going to give you 5 more mods so you can add some spice to your settlements and get even more recommendations than I gave you in the first video. Let's get right into it. So first up we have Woody's Wasteland Stuff by woodylicious. Now this is a mod that I actually didn't discover until about a couple months ago, and ever since I found it I have absolutely fallen in love with it and I just can't stop using it. It has a very vanilla feel but adds a ton of new items that you'd honestly never expect to see in Fallout, and it's really just a great one. So what we're going to do is show you a few of my favorite items that I've put up here, and also kind of run through the tab and cover a few items that I maybe forgot. So for starters, as you can see, this is a very vanilla seeming shack, but we have things like windows and chicken wire walls and half doors, as well as windows in the center, fireplaces with animated smoke, roofs with overhangs, which is a big plus for me personally, and a couple of animated added items as well, and some modular flower pots, which we'll get into how they work in just a second. On the inside, we also have these animated aquariums, which is gotta be one of my favorite parts of this mod, as well as some modular kitchen furniture, including a very cool rustic sink style, which seems like it could be made in the Fallout universe. As you can see, the fireplace is animated and actually has some attachments you can add to it. There are custom furniture with snap points for clothing, which is highly customizable, more than you'd think. Some new custom furniture for your bathroom, including a totally new toilet and bathtub. And like we saw a second ago, the bird in a cage, which is also animated and looks really, really cool. If you wanted a pet bird in your settlement, well, now you can with Woody's Wasteland Stuff. So really quick, just to get a look at some of these things. First of all, when it comes to this fireplace here, we'll start there. You can see we can actually snap in this little pot hanger and twist it while it's on there. And we can also add in a little hanging pot for cooking. You can't actually cook with this, which is kind of sad, but it is a very nice aesthetic piece. Now when it comes to the fireplace itself, it's actually a wall piece. And then on the outside, you have the extensions, where you can make the chimney taller if you had, say, a second story. And then the end cap, which is animated. As well as an extension for the base right here, which will snap to the bottom for cases when you're a little bit above the ground. There we go. Like that. So it'll snap into that gap and fill it perfectly. We also have some really cool corner stairs that I like a lot. These are some awesome shapes, as well as railings for said stairs, and some supports, bridges, different things like that. When it comes to the clothing, it seems like I can't grab the stuff that's already in there, but if we head over to decorations yet again, and go to clothing, you can see it's actually a snap point, and once it's in there, you can rotate it. So that's just a clothing hanger. We could add in this dress, or even the shoes snap to the top, which is really, really neat. We have decorations for your fireplace, including chopped wood or an axe to throw into, say, this stump, which is actually a snap point. So it snaps right in like that, which is a super cool addition. And when it comes to this hanging planter, as you can see, we can actually snap in different plants, and at the end here is the planter itself, which will snap to ceilings, if I have snapping turned on. And then you can choose between which plant you want to have hanging in it. And I think I covered just about everything except the cool new electrical and plumbing stuff. First of all, oh, you want a new source for water? Well, here's a windmill, which must be placed in dirt, so I can't actually place it in this test world, but here is some water storage, a water heater that we can actually attach plumbing to. As you can see in the back there, plumbing and irrigation, which has been featured in my most recent Let's build to create a water system for a farm. The plumbing is a really cool touch, and you can actually sync all of your stuff up to the same water source. Very neat. Also in Woody's Wasteland Stuff, before we move on really quick, we have some different water wheels, which must be placed in water, although it let me place it anyways. Are animated and look really, really nice as a new power source. We have some cool new lanterns, which look very nice as well. And some fuse boxes and electrical pylons for getting that power to your settlement. And just when I thought I was done with Woody's Wasteland, there's a lot more. There's also some window planters, which are very cool right here. And there's plenty more that I'm not showing you as well. You may need to download this mod and try it for yourself. But if we were to go through every single item, this video would be way too long. But my favorite addition in this mod is the outdoor construction set, which has a little blueprint table, some tools, an animated cement mixer, which is very cool, and then some stuff to make it seem like your settlement is actually under construction. You can see there's planks of wood there. We have these wall frames rather than completed walls to make it look like you guys are still building the house. This would be very cool for, say, Sanctuary, where they're always under construction and always hammering away. Well, at least now it looks like they're actually building something. And you can set up little home frames like that. It's a super cool addition to the mod, and something that a lot of people try to implement with vanilla items. Coming up to our next mod here, if you thought that the Woody's Wasteland mod was too big, well, let me tell you, the Kuro Tab by kurohux is absolutely huge and would be impossible to cover in this video. Honestly, it needs its own video, and quite frankly, it may get one in a Throwback Thursday in the future. So, what the Kuro Tab does very well is variety. For starters, it contains basically all of the vanilla assets, but with new alternate retextures. So, if we head to wood here, we have the wood partially sanded, the wood but it's moldy, the wood but now it's dark gray, the wood but now it's blue, the wood but now it's blue and also white, because, you know, the Minutemen need some settlement items too. Gray wood, gray and white wood, red wood, and it goes on pretty much forever. You see I'm still clicking and it keeps going. The same is true for metal. We have scrap metal of so many different varieties, which I really, really like, because the base metal in the game is great, but sometimes it's just a little too shiny. And this is true as we keep going. Look at plastic textures, because now you can do plastic held together by duct tape to make a really cool looking greenhouse. I really like this one. Throwing a couple of these round ones together makes a very cool greenhouse, kind of like the ones that you find around DayZ if you played it. It looks super cool. And then it keeps going. You have doors of every possible kind you can imagine. You take the shack door in the base game and add every texture you've ever wanted for it. Ever. And I mean ever. It just keeps going. Metal doors, the same is true. All kinds of retextures. Oh, you want doors with graffiti on them? We have them. You want round doors? Well, here's all of the round doors in the game. Also, with alternate textures. And these round doors actually fit here, which is pretty nice. And you can see that it opens like that. Pretty cool. Probably want it to open the other direction, but still. And this is just the Structures tab. And we haven't even gotten close to covering all of it. There's also a ton of decorations, like really cool signs, including unique signs for every one of the settlements. As we get through here, we will find Grey Garden, Somerville, Jamaica Plain, Warwick. It keeps going. The castle sign is really cool with the Minutemen logo. Egret Tours, Abernathy, it just keeps moving. We also have a ton of plywood signs for your settlements, which are really cool. Look at 3 different versions of the Farmer's Market sign. Did you need it? No, but now you have it. I'm telling you, this mod has everything you'd ever possibly need. A bunch of Minutemen signs, as well as road sign retextures. Super, super cool. Got a no ghouls one if you need it. And it keeps going. Huge sign section. As well as art, decals and graffiti, floor coverings. Garden items are really cool. I really like these little hanging pots that you can put now in your gardens. We actually use these in our Grey Garden build. A bunch of clutter, including books, towels, and sheets. Look at this, like retextures of pillows. It just keeps going. Mirrors for your bathroom, because we need more mirrors than are in the base game. Kitchenware bottles, vendors, different piping, aesthetically pleasing piping that you can throw on the side of a building, because why not? And it just keeps going. I'm telling you, there are so many items that it would be impossible. It'd probably be an hour-long video just going through every single item. This is the only menu in my game that's laggy. It's just so much stuff. Very cool mod and worth looking into. And it's available on Xbox. Truly, I would love to show you every item in this mod, but we're already at 10 minutes in, we're only 2 mods in. So let's move on to the next mod, Zebrina's Workshop Devices. Now, if you're not familiar with this is a PC-only mod, but for good reason, because it relies on the script extender to add some really cool moving parts, like animated bridges. Because, yeah, animated bridges. Took me a second to figure out how this one's supposed to be used, but essentially it works like a drawbridge. If we want to get to that platform there, we simply activate our bridge, and it will lower the bridge for us, because it is a crane, and once it's connected, we can walk right up it to the upper level. Super, super cool stuff. And there's a ton of really cool functioning pieces inside of Zebrina's workshop, including my favorite part, which is the elevators that work at any height. So if you were to use, say, this one, and we throw it up here, and then we grab ourselves a switch here, we're gonna link this to a lift, and we click that one, and now when we press it, it comes down. And these things are scripted so that they know when they hit the floor. When it hits the floor, it will stop right there, and then we press it to go back up to here. And there's also a snapping stair piece. This again was used in our most recent settlement build. If you want to see it in action, you can go check it out there. On top of that, there's also different varieties of elevators if you want to be more lore friendly, like this little junky looking one for your settlement, or the quarry lift if you're building at the quarry or somewhere with a little bit more of an industrial vibe. There's animated doors as well, and a ton of really neat things. And also, a really nice touch, working ladders. Because, you know, why not? If we throw a platform at the top of this here, we can actually use this ladder like any ladder in the world, and it will be a quick little loading screen if I can find where floors are in this game. We throw it at the top here, we select the ladder, and after a short loading screen, we are now at the top. And you never thought you'd have a functioning ladder in Fallout? Well, here it is. This is an amazing mod, and another one you should definitely check out if you're on PC. Good news, every mod from now on, so the last 2 mods, will be featured on Xbox. So, for starters, we have G2M, which is another very underrated mod. I don't see a lot of people using this, but they absolutely should. At a first glance, it seems like a mod that just extends vanilla pieces, especially if you start in like the wood section. You'll just see some changes to the wood items that are nice, don't get me wrong, but they don't seem too crazy. But the deeper you get into this mod, you find some really cool stuff, including these interior stair pieces, which are really nice and compact way to get to the second floor using only 1 tile. And you don't have to use any more than just this one piece right here. Although there are some rails that you can add to it as well. And then there is the entire Sunshine Cabin section, Sunshine Cabin, which has the floors as well as the little bases that you attach. Oh, snapping on again. There we go. The little bases here. And you find these guys all around Fallout, these little ranger cabins. But there's also some little hidden features. You throw on the windows here, and it doesn't stop there. There are little additions to the windows as well, if I can find them. Here we go. Window covers with different textures that you can add, as well as glass for the window. And even, if I can find it, well, I guess I couldn't find it. I thought there were some little open windows. I'm pretty sure I remember them being in here. I just can't find them at the moment. But also in construction, we have your very own Super Mutant set, which adds some cool Super Mutant pieces. The big gates here, as well as some box houses that you can create. There's a few mods that do this, but this one's a really nice one that has windows cut out and things like that that are very cool. Look at this, even has a little overhang for the window, which is pretty sweet. You also have some cool, scrappy looking furniture, some unique looking beds, a working fishing station where a guy will come and chop fish if you assign him to it, and it will make food. Excuse me, this one does not generate food. But if you have it down, people will chop fish at it. So, pretty cool. I think, though, if we go to resources, there is one that does produce food. Is it in Fish Farm? No, I'm getting confused. I'm sorry. That one's just the animation. In the Fish Farm, if you plop this down here, anywhere in the water, you can also set aside these little floating walkways, which have the barrels that snap. And your settlers will actually work here and collect fish, which will provide 10 food and happiness to your settlement. And you can see there's animated fish swimming around in the net as well. There's also some fishing decorations, including fishing poles and boats and rudders. These little room dividers are really nice if you need to split up an interior without putting in a full wall. You can choose to have it open or put a cover in it as well. There is an entire Red Rocket alphabet, starting with just the Red Rocket sign, but you also have the different sizes, as well as just the full alphabet. So you can place a letter at a time to spell out whatever you want in the Red Rocket font, which is pretty cool. Another thing you can add via G2M is some very unique lights, like a glowing ghoul light. You simply place down this cage, and now there's a glowing ghoul which will light up your environment and give you rads as you walk by. I can think of a lot of uses for this in different settlements for some crazy aesthetics, including some kind of weird torture chamber, but we don't need to think about that. We also have some interesting destructible pieces like these defense walls here, as well as the sandbags, which when run into with power armor or shot at will eventually break. And then finally, we are checking out one of Ethreon's mods, Adam's Greatness, part of the Master Plan project, which adds in a ton of cool stuff. First of all, you have 2 church sets, one of which is made of wood and one is stone, which have some really cool building options. Really nice big castles if you're using the stone options. Obviously, it's the church set that is in the base game, but you can do some really cool big buildings with these. And it has huge walls, very big structures. If you're trying to build at a church, or maybe you want to add a church to your settlement, this is a cool mod that can do that. However, one of the reasons I use it is for the decorations included. So if we head over, we have a new modular fence section, which adds in new really big wall fences of different bricks. So we have the big cinder blocks here, the kind of stone slate slab style, and the red version of that as well. And there are different pieces, including doorways, little height changes, so if you were to put that in an area like this, where it goes down. We also have a more shallow incline, which would be more suiting to this hill right here. Curves, as well as different pieces and fittings like the base of the wall as well as the top of the wall. This is a great mod for adding in giant brick walls. So even just for that, it's worth having alone. But there's also a graveyard section, which is a pretty cool touch to have for settlements. This is very immersive. Whenever settlers die, if you have mods that allow them to, you can now place down grave sites, or just have them in your settlement for aesthetics. So you can have a burial here, and a snapping gravestone as well. And also some custom gravestones, I believe. If we keep moving on, yes, there are some crosses as well that you can place down, made with names already on some of them, like Nicholas Cage, Marcy Long, Elder Maxon, Preston Garvey, and Settler John, and the Wasteland Hero, as well as a couple of mausoleums. This is a really cool mod for adding aesthetics, and churches aside, just the graveyard and walls is enough to download this mod for me, and honestly, it's why I use it in my own load order. So yeah, guys, I don't know how we came to almost a 20-minute video of just checking out 5 mods. I don't know why I always do this to myself, but I hope you at least enjoyed. If you want to try any of these mods, they will be linked in the description below, and luckily 3 of them today are on Xbox, which is a pretty cool touch. Speaking of Xbox, if you are here watching this, it's because you like settlement items, I can assume, and if that's the case, and you're an Xbox user, go check out JassassinE on YouTube. This guy makes incredible, detailed, amazing settlements and stuff all on Xbox, and in ways that you would not think are even possible on Xbox. I'm telling you, this guy is a madman. I'll have his channel linked in the description. Go check out some of his videos. He does really cool settlement work, and again, all on Xbox. Even if you're a PC user, you should check out what this guy is doing, because I'm sure you could do exactly what he's doing on PC, and just use him for inspiration because he does amazing stuff. So, thanks again for watching, guys. If you liked the video, drop a like. It helps us get into that algorithm and gets more mods to the people who need them. And consider subscribing if you want to see more Fallout 4 mod bundles in the future. We do them every Wednesday, and they're always different topics, so if settlements maybe aren't for you, check in next week. We may have something you may enjoy instead. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.